Hi, this is Mrs. Show. Today our objective is to be able to classify triangles. So please take a few notes here to help you with your big ideas assignment that we're going to do. So label your notes triangles, and we're going to look at different types of triangles. All right, so to get started, what is the sum of the angles of the inside of any triangle? If you have a triangle, you have 3 angles and 3 sides. What do all the angles always add up to be? 180 degrees, right? So in this first triangle, if I was asked to find x, and they give me one angle is 23 and the other is 124, what I would do is add 124 and 23. That totals 147. But all 3 angles are going to add up to 180. So I would subtract 147 from 180, and I would find out that this missing angle would be 33 degrees. So all angles of a triangle always add up to 180. If you look at this second triangle here, they're telling me this angle is 52 degrees. This little box means those 2 sides are perpendicular, or they make 90 degrees. If I was trying to find y, what I would do is add the 2 that I know, 90 and 52. That's 142. And then I would subtract it from 180, since I know all 3 angles always add up to 180. And I would get 38 degrees. So this missing angle is 38 degrees. All right. So in your notes, there are 3 types of triangles if we class them by angles. So notice this first triangle has a 30-degree angle, an 80-degree angle, and a 70-degree angle. This is called an acute triangle. So in your notes, write acute triangle. If you want to pause the video and draw the triangles, you can. I would definitely put down next to acute triangle that all 3 angles are less than 90 degrees. Less than 90 means they're acute. So all 3 angles are less than 90. If you look at the second triangle, I've got a 30-degree angle, a 30-degree angle, but I've got a 120-degree angle. What do we call an angle that's more than 90 degrees? Obtuse. So this is an obtuse triangle. So if you want to pause the video to make a drawing, you can. Okay. What you need to know about an obtuse triangle is that it has one angle that is more than 90. So it has one obtuse angle. One of the angles is more than 90. We call it obtuse. If you look at the last triangle, we have this little box here, which means perpendicular, which means 90 degrees. What do we call an angle that is 90 degrees? A right. So this is a right triangle. A right triangle has one 90-degree angle. Okay, so if one of the angles is 90 degrees, we call it a right triangle. So those are our 3 triangles that we have classifying by angles. We can also classify our triangles by sides. So notice on this first one of the sides is 13, one is 9, one is 14. This is called scalene. This is a scalene triangle. No sides are congruent. That means no sides are the same length. So in your notes, I would write scalene triangle and write no sides are congruent. That means the same measure or the same length. Pause the video anytime you need to if you're still taking notes. Look at the second triangle. These little slash marks mean that these 2 sides are the same length or they're congruent. So if this side is 9, this side is 9. When we have at least 2 sides the same length, we call it isosceles. This is an isosceles triangle. Please write this in your notes. An isosceles triangle has at least 2 sides congruent. So at least two of the sides are the same length if it's isosceles. All right, on the last one, notice this has 3 slash marks. That means all three sides are the same length. All 3 sides are congruent. We call that equilateral. This is called equilateral. So an equilateral triangle has all 3 sides congruent. Take a few seconds here and write this down so you have it to look at when you do your assignment. Equilateral triangle, all 3 sides are the same length or congruent. Notice that the angles are the same measure also. So this angle, and this angle are all 60 degrees. So whenever you have an equilateral triangle, all 3 angles are 60 degrees. So the angles are the same, and if the angles are the same, we also call it equiangular. That means the 3 angles are the same as well. They're all equal to each other. They're congruent. All right, let's practice what we just learned. All right, so the directions for these 4 are classify these triangles by angles and side. So look at number 1. Look at the angles. We have a 90 degree, a 45, and a 45. What do we call it, classifying it by angles? Right, because it's a 90 degree angle here. If it has one 90 degree angle, it's a right triangle. Now let's classify by the sides. Notice there are 2 slash marks here, which means there are at least 2 sides the same length. What do we call a triangle with at least 2 sides the same length? Isosceles. So this is also isosceles. This is a right isosceles triangle. Look at number 2. Look at the angles. We have 60, 30, and 90. What kind of triangle is that? Right, because we have a 90 degree angle. If we have one 90 degree angle, it's a right triangle. Look at the sides. It doesn't tell us the measure of the sides, but we don't have any slash marks showing any of the sides are the same length. So what do we call a triangle with no sides the same length? Scalene. Yes, that's a right scalene triangle. All right, let's look at number 3. Notice this is 50 degrees. These 2 angles are the same, but look at them. They have to be less than 90 because this is 90 degrees and it's smaller than 90. So looking at this, even though I don't know the measures of those bottom ones, I know they're less than 90. So all 3 angles are less than 90. So if all 3 angles are less than 90, it is acute. This is an acute triangle because all 3 angles are less than 90. Now let's look at the sides. Look, there are 2 slash marks here. That means those 2 sides with those slash marks are congruent. They're the same measure. What do we call a triangle with at least 2 sides the same length? Isosceles. Yes. So this is an acute isosceles triangle. All right, look at number 4. We're going to name it by the angles. There's a 33, a 114, and a 33. Well, one of the angles is more than 90. So if one of the angles is more than 90, it's called obtuse. Now look at the sides. Are any of the sides the same length? Yes, 2 of them. So if we have at least 2 sides the same length, it is called isosceles. Exactly. Okay, so this is what you're going to work on today in your Big Ideas assignment. Make sure you use your notes to help you. If you want to go back and watch the video again to make sure you get a good score, that would be a good idea. All right, how are we feeling? Thumbs up, thumbs down, or thumbs in the middle about different types of triangles. All right, go to Big Ideas. You're going to do your 7-3 assignment. Have a good day.